All right, so do a slightly simpler one first. When I'm doing, like, let's say x to the 5th plus 3x squared or something like that, when I'm going backwards, taking an antiderivative, like if I were taking the derivative of 5x to the 4th, let's say, I would multiply and then subtract 1 from the power. So to go backwards, I add 1 to the power and then divide. So that's what I do when you're taking the derivative of a polynomial. You just add 1 to the power and divide by what you get. So if I did this simpler one here, once I take the antiderivative, I would add 1 to the power, divide by what I get, and then the constant would just multiply out in front, and I'd add 1 to the power, divide by what I get. And so then you get that. And you can always check it. If I took the derivative of this, I should get back to there. So if you took the derivative, you'd multiply by the 6, and that would cancel, and you drop the power down, you'd get that. And then you'd multiply, you get 3x squared, you'd get that, and the derivative of any constant is 0, so you're back to the original. So if we do the same thing for this crazy one over here, I'll add 1 to my power, so 1/3 plus 1 is 4/3. And dividing by 4/3 is the same thing as multiplying by 3/4. And then I'll do the same thing here. I'll add 1 to 2/3, so that's 5/3. Dividing by 5/3 is the same thing as multiplying by 3/5. So if we take the derivative of our answer, we should get back to the original. The 4/3 times the 3/4, that cancels, gives us the 1. Subtract 1 from the power, that gives us the 1/3. We're golden. Now since it's an indefinite integral, since it's a definite integral with limits, instead of adding a plus c, we instead evaluate the limits, evaluate the integral, I can talk, from 0 to 8. So we're going to plug in the 8 first, plug in that upper limit first, and subtract what we get when we plug in the lower limit, but that's just going to be 0 in this case. I'm not too scared of that. And then you get to deal with this little blast from the past, 8 to the 4/3. It's the cube root of 8 to the 4th. So the cube root of 8 is 2. We're going to raise that to the 4th power. So it's 3/4 times 16, so that's 12. And then we'll do the same thing for this 8 to the 5/3. So we'll take the cube root of 8 is 2, take that to the 5th power. So that's 32, and that's lovely. 96/5. So 60/5 minus 96/5 is negative 36/5. So hopefully I didn't lose a negative, but yeah, that should do it.